What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
We're back at it.
And another installment of
For the Greater
WAAAGH.
This is a video series where we answer your question. If you have a question for us, just comment down below, put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And your questions are so good, it usually makes the Sound Alchemist laugh before we even start
Before we even start, let me just ask this question. Is this coming out on Easter?
No, Easter's in a couple of days. Oh!
It's not Easter Sunday, dude. Oh, wait, but it'd be...
That'll be next week. I mean, this is probably going to come out Thursday. No, so no, I won't. but close to Easter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the question is coming from William Montperg. Montperg. I guess if I keep saying it wrong, it's not going to make it right. Anyways, if the warp creates entities or gods out of belief and emotions, does that mean that Christian gods exist in 40k universe? Thanks for the great videos. Keep up the good work. So was Christ in the Warhammer 40k universe at some point?
Well, I mean, that would mean that any other god, for example, like
Thor,
the Norse gods, you've got
Muhammad.
Greek mythology, all these other cultures, that would mean that their god at one point or another would have been praised.
Yep.
And if that's being said, then that means at one point, or maybe at all points, because the warp, there's no time. There's no... is there space? No. So I guess you could say that there is a pantheon of all the gods. However, they'd be minor gods because humanity at that time wasn't as prosperous. Like, there wasn't that many humans as there is currently in the timeline of 40k.
Mm-hmm.
So their beliefs and stuff wouldn't have been giving their own god that type of support or power to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, most likely with the arrival of the four chaos gods, they probably got beaten or incorporated into themselves.
Yep.
For example, like Hades would easily succumb to like the chaos gods because there's a bunch of traits that are shared with those gods there.
Mm-hmm.
So yes and no to answer your question.
And part of the reason why the Emperor really hated the fact that humans believed in mythological gods was because the vision of what we thought of as like Zeus was not really what was happening in the warp. It was the entity, and that entity might have acted differently,
right,
and might have contributed, like you said, to like the bigger chaos gods in the future. Mm-hmm. So like while people praised Ares, the god of war, in reality that was just like another like boost to Khorne, which was why the Emperor was like, oh, that sucks. So in the case of like Jesus, and like people are praising this like selflessness and all that kind of stuff, that would probably contribute to the entity that would become the god of order, which is supposedly the Emperor, but it wasn't like Jesus, like the way that we see him in the warp, just chilling. Yeah, hope that answers that. Next question.
This one's by Jaximus Prime Rib. That sounds good. Considering how you two always say that you get to the questions with question written in front of it first, what if I write question in front of my question more than once? Will my question become more likely to be answered for every question written?
No, so the best way to get your question answered is to get people to like your question. So give us a good question and your question it'll be pushed up. Mm-hmm. Or say something goofy like, if the Emperor, or if a crew ate the Emperor, I don't know.
You just say crew and Emperor in the same sentence and it'll be pushed up.
Yeah. And then don't talk about that. So it'd be like, question, if the crew ... and then give you a regular question. And people would like that.
Yeah. This one's by Questionable. Your name is Question. That's pretty cool. How do you guys think the relationship between Guilliman and the Harlequins that occurred during the Gathering Storm affects the relationship between the Imperium and the Eldar in the future?
So I don't think it's as significant as you think, or as the lore might have made it out to be. The Harlequins were acting in their own self-interest. The reason that they helped Guilliman is because they wanted to, or because they were pushing an agenda that the Laughing God wanted them to push. At the end of the day, the Laughing God cares about himself and he cares about his people. So the Eldar aren't as like buddies with with Gilliman.
Yeah, and the whole thing with Yvraine and the Unicard and traveling with Call and Greyfax, I believe that was her name, and Saint Celestine, they're two goals aligned, which is why they managed to resurrect Gilliman, and Gilliman was like, yeah, you guys can travel with us up until a certain point, and then you guys got to go your own way. So
yeah,
their goals, they had similar interests, similar goals, and that's why they were together for that short bit, but it won't really change too much in the future.
Right. Next question comes from Timothy Armstrong. What would happen if a space marine found a child with a powerful psychic connection as strong as the Emperor's?
Ooh, that's really, really, really rare.
Yeah, I don't really think that they would be able to tell that it's greater than the Emperor's, because the Emperor is the highest. So something that level would just be considered significantly what is it called? Well, it was just it would look better, but they wouldn't really know this is as strong as the Emperor.
And for somebody to be that strong, they would be like a freaking beacon, like a lighthouse to all these warp entities.
Exactly.
Most likely chaos would get to them. They'd probably die as an infant or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for them to survive that long with that type of psychic powers, they're going to be really, really strong. So much so that they wouldn't even fear a space marine. Like, with the flick of the wrist, they could be like, "Nah, I ain't going with you."
Yep.
Disintegrate.
It's all about their midichlorian count. Next question.
This one's by Gulisa. Do orcs feel shame? If an orc is constantly getting the crap beat out of him, and he's always losing, does he lose the will to fight, and does he end up feeling shameful?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe not the same type of shame that we feel, but it's the same type of shame that a dog would feel. So, if a dog, because we just got a pup. Well, my girlfriend just got a puppy, and the other day he got stuck. His leash got stuck around a tree, and he kept yanking on the tree, and he couldn't get out. And after a while, he kind of just laid down. He gave up, and he was crying and feeling sad for himself. I think that's what an orc would do. An orc would see that he continues to get beat, and then he'll just sit in the corner and cry and ask the Gretchen to bring him a squig or something.
Or he'd probably beat up on the Gretchen to feel better.
Exactly. And that's what it is. But yes, they do fail morale tests, and then they do run away. Next question.
This one's by Winter Wolf. If you could change one thing in the entire 40k lore, what would you change and why? Sanguinius dying.
What?
Yeah.
I think that would complicate. I think that Sanguinius still alive would complicate everything in 40k because of his whole red thirst, black rage thing. They would have to have him go into the warp right away.
Right away?
Right away.
I feel like Sanguinius' death, although very cool, very important, very integral in the whole freaking expanse of 40k, it still doesn't change the fact that he was my favorite Primarch. And he died.
No, but come back.
Because he's cool.
Pretty sure he's gonna come back.
Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, he should stay dead.
I wish that the old ones would have continued their connection to this galaxy, and at least influences here and there would have been nice. Next question comes from Josh Partridge. What is a world engine? I know it's a Necron thing, but that's it. Also, Black Templars currently have more than 60k Marines, so they are currently the largest chapter. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, we didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're the biggest chapter because they're always going on crusades and whatnot.
I mean, the world engine is what it is. It's just a giant gun created by the Necrons for the War in Heaven.
Think Death Star, but the size of a world.
And shaped like a shaft. A long shaft. Next question.
This one's by Bright Glory. What models would you recommend for somebody not building an army, but just for aesthetic reasons for display? I'm interested in what looks good on a shelf.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I really like the sculpts for Contemporary Dreadnoughts, especially the ones for the Adeptus Custodes on Forge World. They just look so much more beefier and intimidating. If you're going for Space Marines, I really like the whole look of Sanguinary Guard with the wings and whatnot. So, I mean, that's just my preference. That's what I think looks cool. So.
Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, I really like the Tau. I really like how they look. They're all sleek and they're piranhas for some reason. Look really awesome. I hate Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
Go with the boxy dreadnoughts.
Yeah. But for a while I hated the Skitarii, and now I look at the Skitarii, I'm like, wow, these guys are...
You freaking play Skitarii.
But I hated them when they first came out. Anyways, the look, aesthetics. Next question.
This one's by Ren A. How quick would Batman be killed when fighting against a Space Marine? And he does have 1 week of preparation. He's not going to die then. Give Batman a freaking week of preparation and he's good for, forever pretty much. Like, he can't lose. Like, I don't see Batman losing against anybody if he's prepared for it, because that's how he's written as a character.
Plot armor.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Jim Koch. Gersh, what are some orc battle reports at, or where are some orc battle reports at home? Oh Jesus,
that's like the easiest sentence to read. Orc battle reports.
I'm tired. They're coming. No, we're about to play a game, and I'm gonna play orcs. So you'll see them in a little bit.
Where they at?
Next question. I have one from DFool06. Help! The Inquisition.
That's a question. Help.
That's not really a question. That's a statement.
Well, that's how we'll notice it.
The Inquisition is after me. What can I do to survive? Leave the borders of the Imperium. Even if you're in the center of the Imperium, so like Viterra, the galaxy is pretty big and they have pockets where the Imperium does not really go into because of some rule or something like that. So just, leave the Imperium, try to stay hidden, and then it really depends on what the Inquisition is getting you for. If the Inquisition is like trying to kill you because you said, screw the Emperor, then you'll be fine. What do you think?
I feel like there's no way to really escape. I mean, you could escape them, like you said, leave the Imperium borders, but there's so much other stuff out there out to get you. You could, get eaten by freaking Tyranid hive tendrils. You can go into the wrong neighborhood and just get blown up. Like, I mean, you're gonna get got.
Yeah. And those were the questions for today. Thank you for sending those questions our way. If you have more questions for us, comment down below. Yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys, because we got more epic 40k content coming your way. This is the Sound Alchemist.
Gersh one!
We're out of here.
Happy Easter.